Democratic member of Congress, Khanna of California. Republican member of Congress from Florida, Byron Donalds. And I love you both for coming on the show together. I've disagreed with you separately, but I love that you take this opportunity and you are bigger than party. I respect you both. Byron, thank you. Thank you for doing this. So Byron, again, you hear me, you know that I don't fake the funk. I believe in efficiencies. I don't have a problem with that Musk is there. But I think they need to show us receipts, and it's not a matter of time, because he's playing games. This Reuters thing was playing games. I shouldn't have to tell people about his deal for Cybertrucks. He should get in front of that stuff, Byron. And I think it kind of falls on you guys to make sure he does in terms of oversight. Am I right?
Well, two minor things. I think number one, it's been, 19 days or so into the Trump administration. And so I think there's a little bit of patience that you have to have. They're going through the initial work of going through these agencies. To your broader point of how it's just not the executive branch doing it on its own. There's two other points about that. Point number one, in a lot of federal law, this is the fault of Congress, both parties over decades. Congress, when we write law now, we don't itemize specifically what the federal agencies need to do. Most of the law is written to say, at the discretion of the secretary of blah, 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 these things occur. So that's how you can have a special employee like Elon Musk go through the agencies and say, stop everything. I want to examine this. I want to examine that, et cetera. I think the other piece is that this is going to have to come back to Congress if you actually want to get the savings, because in the next appropriation cycle, we're then going to have to either make sure that we pull down the number of dollars that we're going into some of these agencies across the board, or write more stringent rules about how some of this money can be disseminated by the executive branch. I think both things need to occur, but to a broad level, it's been 18, 19 days. They're still just getting their sea legs, even though you can tell Donald Trump and his team do have a plan of how they want to go about executing his agenda through this administration.
Listen, again, I agree with everything you're saying to a degree. All I'm saying is, if you're finding the stuff, you can show me it as you find it. That's the beauty of technology and their ability to read code. If you're able to find the number and the program or the disbursement that you don't like, you can show me it right then. Not with a little heart emoji and say, I'll get back to you after Valentine's Day. That's my only point. I'm not coming after him about the price of eggs. I know that takes time, and I also know why he's not focusing on it, because it's not as easy as he said it would be, of course. But that's why I'm saying it. And Ro, let me just ask you something quick, and I want to go to break. Can you two fellas, can you stay with me into the next break? I talked more than I thought I was going to off the top of the show. All right, thank you, fellas. Ro, here's why I'm suspicious. Look, Elon Musk is a genius, man. I'm not trying to say that, like, I'm on par with him. That's not what I'm saying. When he starts not telling us about his own deals, when he wants transparency, and he says USAID gave millions to the media, and they didn't. And then he does it again with Reuters when he makes it sound like you guys did it, and it was sneaky, and it was Trump's policy. Doesn't that fuel suspicion that this guy has to start showing receipts? Because he's playing games, Ro. He may be the outsider, but he's playing insider games. No disrespect.
Chris, I agree with you. Look, I've known Elon for 15 years. I've always said he's a brilliant entrepreneur and one of the most consequential entrepreneurs of our generation. When DOGE was established, he and Vivek contacted me. I said, come to the Hill. I'll set up a meeting with Democrats. And if you're serious about going after certain waste, let's do it together. The problem is that he's doing it unilaterally without involving Congress, and that anyone would make mistakes. That's why we have Congress. I know it's a messy process, but we've got 435 people. You'd get asked questions. You would be corrected if you make a mistake. I'm glad to see Byron is saying that he does have to come to Congress ultimately. The whole issue really began with the stopping of payments and him not coming to Congress. I think if he had, and I don't think that's good for Elon. I've said that directly to him. I said, if you're exposing things, come to Congress, have sunlight, show what you have the discretion to do because Congress didn't prescribe it in detail, and then have Congress vote on things we did.
I'll come back right after the break, and we'll keep talking about this Byron and Roe. Although I will say this going into break. I'm a little suspicious of Roe, too. You know he thinks Stephen A. Smith should be president, right? Byron, you heard that? You heard Roe, right? He watches Stephen A. Smith on my show. He says that Stephen A. Smith is the smartest guy I've ever heard. Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.